Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Khairul Nazim bin Saidin and my friends Muhammad Azri and Wan Ashraf. Today we will talk about the comparison between of Islamic and conventional product. As introduction, I will explain to you about the meaning of the product and the product in Islam. A product can be either a service or a physical thing. It might be physical, virtual or cyber. Every product has a cost and every product has a price. The price can be paid is determined by the market, quality, marketing, and the target segment. Each product has a usable life cycle which needs to be replaced as well as reinvented life cycle. And then the product in Islam is built on three things, which is daruriyah, hajiyah, and tahsiniyah. All three things of the aforementioned classification are critical in ensuring a high quality product. Through all this, it can improve people's life by increasing economic welfare, by offering as many commodities as possible and shaping the economy to be efficient consumer of resource available to offset man's will. After that, the first point is concerning Islam Sharia. In Islam, all products, goods and services including rice and sugar must be halal. As a result, banned goods and services such as alcohol and gambling cannot be removed and sold on the Islamic product. Product as well as the goods and service it provides must be clean and free of that. It must be clean before we use it or try to sell it, and then we can use it or sell it to consumer. Stool, for example, is prohibited substance in Islamic law because it can harm the public. We can ensure the Islamic product are full of criteria by using all of this classification, and the main thing is to pay attention to the details in classification. This is because we can improve Islamic products and raise the standard of living. We can, for instance, eliminate and remove commodities, service, and products that are illegal, harmful, and dangerous to human. After that, we move on to advantage of Islamic and conventional product or service, which is financing. First and foremost, mostly our research focus on financial product between Islamic and conventional product. For the financial products, most financial institutions now offer a choice between Islamic and conventional products and conventional banking concept covering saving accounts to loans and financing. Various types of banking suit the current situation and not limited to Muslim only, as long as the financial resources channeled into the bank and not from illegal source such as gambling proceeds or the sale of liquor. At the first point, conventional bank provide loan based on interest, and profits will be obtained through the interest, while the Islamic bank is not a money lending but as a investment institute. Why the Islamic bank is they call not a money lending but as a investment institute? Because Islamic banks operate under guidelines and socio-religious sources that prohibit the imposition and payment of interest. And after that, Islamic bank have a strong governance framework where there is an organizational structure that act as a Sharia board to approve any form of transaction and products based on Sharia law. While the conventional bank framework is not taken into account and used. Taking into account and complying with Sharia compliant guidelines and regulation, Islamic banks will not provide financing to industries that bring harm to society. Furthermore, any loan provided by an Islamic bank must be free from any element of interest. While for the conventional banks, almost all financing and deposit products are loan-based. Islamic banking products are usually supported by assets that involve trading activities, asset leasing, as well as the cover the concept of profits and loss. In contrast, conventional banks do not engage in trade and business because they only act as a money lenders. And after that, the main advantage of choosing Islamic banking is in terms of variable rate financing. Like conventional financing, the profit rate of Islamic financing changes according to the current situation, so that there is no element of bias against consumer or banks. About these additional charges vary for each bank, but are highly likely to be comparable to conventional products charged aimed at maintaining the competitive of conventional banking. In conclusion, for the combination of these two types of products can influence and help your finance. Most importantly, you need to research before choosing a product and type of banking so that you don't regret it later on.
For deficiency, it is necessary to grasp that Islamic banks supply product and service that are great deal similar to conventional banks, and with this angle intense competition exists. It's currently an incontrovertible fact that consumers of all product and service tend to become additional demanding thanks to the present marketplace that have become additional competitive. As a result, there's endless increase in client expectation and consumer consecutive demands at interval that the advance of the standard of service. This is necessitated Islamic bank to actually perceive the perception of the customer toward them in terms of service, quality, and also the criterion for selection between different banks. However, within the context of Malaya, the amount of Malaysian banking customer using Islamic banking merchandise and service are growing. Clearly, a majority still haven't adopted the system. The system has not absolutely reached off or subtle all level of community, just like the mature market of standard banking. In this study, we tend to ask the consumer preference toward Islamic product and service, and to determine the underlying factor that modify shopper to decide on between Islamic bank and conventional bank. A number of these factors is thanks to bank effectiveness and potency, or even a recommendation from friends and relatives. Moreover, the study analyzes the degree of awareness of activity associated degree facility offered by Islamic bank.
Which one is better, Islamic products or conventional products? The public knows that there are indeed some differences when talking about the Islamic way of life and a way of life that is not based on Islam. The same is true with the difference between Islamic banking and banking non-Islam, or what we often term as banking conventional. Even to the naked eye, it looks the same. This difference can also be linked to the difference between true and false, and the difference between right and wrong according to Islamic views, which is deposit product. In deposit products, Islamic banks structure the product by using wadi'ah yadudhamana contract, which is savings with collateral. Grants or gifts may be given to the depositors, subject to discretion banks, unlike savings account products at conventional banks. Each account holder is promised a return specific to the savings made. As a result, usury occurs because in the savings account product, the bank has borrowed money saved by customer to carry out its business activities. Hence, any increase in the form of the return on the customer savings is accounted for as usury from the loan transaction. For financings, Islamic banking structured the product by using various Sharia contracts such as Bai' Bithamanin Ajil BBA, Muqabaha, Istisna, Ijarah, and so on. For example, the personal financing process is made through a contract buying and selling that produce debt, which is dain, such as a bai'inah and also tawarruk. The resulting debt is not from loan contracts but from sale and purchase contracts. The profit received from Islamic banking is the result of the profit rate in the form of a selling price. In contrast to conventional banking, where customers will receive revenue debt loans of money from banks and profit received by banks based on interest rate, or known as a riba. In investment contracts, Islamic banking uses the concept of real profit and risk sharing, and thus the burden both parties or one of the parties involved. For example, in the mudarabah contract, which is investment, customers as investor and bank as entrepreneurs share profit when making profits, while losses will be borne by investors. This coincides with the method of FIC, which means every return is at risk. In contrast to conventional investment that promise a fixed return at the beginning of the contract, these investments do not involve an actual partnership between the parties involved. The fixed return promise at the beginning of the investment contract riba is riba and haram in Islam. So, in conclusion, it is the responsibility of every human being who prioritizes justice to choose Islamic banking as a solution to the problems and injustice caused by banking conventional. This is because Islamic banking is more transparent and uphold the noble values of the individual as well as universal justice for society. In fact, through the comparisons already mentioned above, it is clear that Islamic banking is more profitable and fair to all parties. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.